Rage for a beat 'em up, pretty dang good. I will say this. Hey Shay, if you're watching this, game's so good, but I still hate the twins in this. Nice little thing. Nice little casing. I don't have the booklet. Sometimes when I get these in, they don't have the booklet. I don't know I don't know what the hell they do with them. Oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't show Sonic the Hedgehog up, did I? Might as well show off the inside. Like, see if I don't know why. Some people like to do this. I just do. Now, I'm going to show off the most bizarre thing about the console. Now, Sega released Sonic and Knuckles. No, I don't own Sonic 3. I own it on the Virtual Console for my Xbox 360 down there. Now, Sonic and Knuckles is a little bit of an experimental cartridge, I like to call. They, yeah, digging the little pink right there, but hold on. Copy it off. This cartridge right here is what you would call the lock-on. Sort of like DLC, a game with a little add-on feature. Now, if I took a game like, well, Sonic 1, this won't work for, so if people ever want to know, does this cartridge work for Sonic 1? No, it only works for Sonic 3 and Sonic 2. And no, there's no manual for this either. Now, it does a lock-on function, which you're able to play as Knuckles in Sonic 2. Though I'm not all that big in Knuckles, I'm more for Sonic's gameplay, and sometimes a little bit of Tails, but nothing too extreme. Little lock-on function for this, pretty revolutionary for its time, and the commercial I remember seeing for this, actually pretty cool. Freaking Santa Claus elves like, yeah, they mocked us for saying this was a stupid idea. Now we're making the money, baby. Take that, fat man. Which I thought was pretty funny. Now, the Sega Genesis. What kind of things I could say I like about this over the Super Nintendo? Well, for one thing, I dig the controller. For another, which I should unroll. Why not? Might as well show the whole thing unraveled. The other 6-button controller I don't use only for fighting games or if there's not enough buttons. Now, what I dig about this controller is its size. For a guy like me, I have very long fingers, so this just fits my hands. Now, that's a problem I have with the PS3 controller. It's really small, and I'm not a big fan of it. Actually, that's why I like the Dreamcast controller. I like beefy. What can I say? It feels like it belongs. But the one problem I do have with the controller is it does have a bit of a short cord. So yeah, that's the only minus. But the 6-button controller is a bit longer, so they knew about that problem. So that's always cool. At least it's not like this frickin' Famicom where it's like literally connected to this system. Also, a fun fact about this system: you can also use an Atari 2600 controller for this, which is a pretty cool fun fact. Thank you, ABJN, for teaching me that. Actually, I learned a lot of things from James Rolfe. I do like how I do love his reviews. I will say that. Now, the one problem I'm having, I know there's composite cables, but I know some of you haven't seen this in a while. I'm stuck with an RF box. Now, it's not a problem to me. I have to hook it up directly to the TV. But to be honest with you, I like composite better. For some reason, it just shows up better on the TV. When I plug it in, it gives a weird, like, bright glare. It'll, like, overshine. It'll settle in over time, and it won't do it as bad. But that's only if you're playing it for, like, an hour or two. Then it'll do it. It's a bit weird. The RF box, I guess, was still there. I guess when the Nintendo was being first released. The Nintendo had the RF box. I know that. I think they also had composites. So I guess it was just doing that in case if people didn't have composites or something. I don't know. Now, the one thing I love about the Genesis, and I will say this now, the games for this system are not that expensive. $4 for Sonic 2? That's not bad. Heck, Sonic and Knuckles, that you'd think would be a bizarre and actually kind of expensive one if you've never heard of it, is $8. That's not bad. And Sonic the Hedgehog, which I think was like it came with it because it had the not for resale, which I guess it meant for the Genesis it came with it. I think. I'm not entirely sure. If you guys want to tell me, that'd be great. $5 for that. And the most expensive game I got there was Phantasy Star 3, which was $15. Yeah, the console itself's cheap. The games are cheap. I find this console to be pretty good, especially for cost wise. Games library is pretty good. And if you're a fan of sports games, there's more for this. And if you want to collect for sports games, it's definitely worth it. It's a good piece of gaming history, and you should give it a shot. Now, the next console I'm thinking about getting for Sega will probably be the Sega Saturn, but the problem I didn't get the Sega Saturn was it was worth over 40 bucks over there, and they didn't have much of a gaming library, and which means I'd have to buy everything on eBay, and I don't know a lot of games. The only game I want to try for the Sega Saturn is Mr. Bones. I don't know much on the Sega Saturn, so I had to look deeper into that. So please comment and subscribe and tell me what do you love about the Sega Genesis.